Welcome to another episode of Going with the Flow, podcast about the team at Cellino Plumbing. And today I'm joined by Rich, our new director of finance. Rich, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, thanks for joining. So, Rich, you came a long way over to Cellino.
Yes.
Why don't we start off and talk about your journey to Buffalo?
Yeah, so grew up in California, or taking a step back, my dad was born out here. So aunts, uncles, grandparents still out here. But I grew up in California, lived there my whole life basically, went to college out there, and then moved to Denver for 4 years during COVID. And then last year we made the jump to officially move out here just to be closer to family. So once we have 2 kids now, and so it was just time to get more help and be closer to family, but also love the area, love the Bills, Sabres, for good or bad. But yes, so happy to be here.
For good or bad, for sure.
Yes.
One thing that I really love about being a small business is a lot of my coworkers come from another coworker, and I would never have guessed that we would have 2 California guys here, but you actually are here because we have a mutual friend. He came from California. He's our electrician to start that, and we were in the middle of looking for director of finance. He suggested you. We went golfing, and boom, here you are.
Yeah, no, it's a pretty crazy story because I met him online playing video games. So as nerdy as that sounds, that's how I met him. I knew his uncle actually also from the same thing. And then we would hang out, and then, he referred me to Cellino. So pretty crazy story how it all worked out.
Yeah, well, nerdy is one thing you want in a director of finance. Yeah. I know we were going through it, and I met you. I'm like, this guy's sharp. He's really good. I'm like, we actually just hired somebody, which didn't go too well. And when we did that, I'm like, man, I wish we didn't jump the gun so much. We had a huge recruitment process, and then it's just kind of stumbled across, and it's funny how things work that way.
Yeah, no, it's a interesting process for sure. And I know just having someone there and then having someone new, probably a little weird, but I'm hopefully making a good impact. So.
Yeah, no, you've done a lot already, and I know you fit right in. The team's really lucky to have you. So, definitely glad to have you, and glad to see where this goes.
Yeah.
So, as far as you had a big travel, a lot of change to get to Buffalo, but you also came from the corporate world.
Yes.
You were working at Sonos before, and first time in a small business. That's a big change too, right?
Oh yeah, a lot of different processes, a lot of pros and cons, especially on the finance side of things, but a lot more silos as well. As here is just things are changing constantly. You're seeing numerous different things. You're working with operations, inventory, and purchasing, and then HVAC and electrical managers. So yeah, it's been a whirlwind, but it's been fun so far.
Yeah, no, definitely a lot. I tried to warn you when you first came in.
Yes.
I'm like, man, from the corporate world, this is gonna be a little different for you, Rich. But
yeah, it's definitely not as structured, but hey, it keeps it fun, it keeps it interesting, and I think that's part of what appealed me to it in the first place too. So
yeah, and being in same day service with plumbing emergencies, like structure is something that you have your bit of it, but you got to be open to just variables and chaos at times. So.
Yeah, it's like I really feel like I underestimated how complex the industry is, and you don't really see like, oh, you call a plumber and they come to your house. You don't really see the behind the scenes details of the dispatch board and like scheduling the calls, and then how it flows through to the accounting side of things, and like nobody really see, it's just, I feel like there's a lot more to it than people realize, and all at the same time, you're trying to put the customer's needs first. So, it's been fun though.
Yeah, no, it's, so sometimes I go home, and actually last night I went home and we had a 1-star review, and the review was something like, really professional. They were great, but the bill was over $300 for a drain cleaning. And, it's, sometimes I'm just like, they have no idea. Like they're looking at that plumber, and they don't realize that he has all the travel time, all the time in between, but all the people that make that up too. And it's like, I wish I could explain it, but there's really no way to until you actually get in there.
Yeah, exactly. So not much you can do about those, but yeah, that's.
So when you came on board, one reason that you wanted to come over was you just wanted to be more part of a community.
Oh yeah.
And we certainly have that at Cellino. You've been maybe a month, not even a month, right?
A month, just over.
Over a month. My apologies.
Yeah, about 2 days. So come on, Luke.
I was close. All right, I'm working on it. So yeah, you've been here for just over a month. What like instantly stood out to you?
With the company itself, I think the people, everyone's super nice and helpful. And I think, a lot of things I've had to figure out on my own, trying to figure out a process or a document, like how this should work and be documented. And so I've already had to work with so many different people on the team, and everyone's just been super helpful and welcoming and like, hey, yeah, this is how we do it. Like you got to go here and here and here. And we've had to call different people and like get me just set up on logins and, oh, we don't have access to this. Like, let's just call them and figure it out. So it's been just amazing, like how helpful everyone is. And, but yeah, I mean, everyone's been super nice. And like you said, community was one of the big reasons I wanted to come out here. And I feel like Buffalo's in general, just the community here is awesome. So just even like just neighbors in my neighborhood or, everyone's just welcoming. And so definitely get the family feel. And you can tell at Cellino, especially just the family run business, everyone has the same goal. We're all working towards, making the company better and more profitable, all while doing what the customer wants as well.
Yeah, no, it's funny. So born and raised here, I never left here. But you hear all the time, this community's great. It's like, for me, I guess I'm certainly grateful, but I don't know any different either. So it's always good to hear from other people that come here and, give Buffalo that little bump that it needs.
Yeah, I mean, Buffalo gets so much hate because of the winter and stuff. And it's just like, I don't know. I'd rather be indoors with family during the winter than outside by myself or like not have anybody around. So again, that community feeling. Denver, it's such a transplant kind of city. Like you don't really have that feel there, at least where we were. I mean, we were a transplant, so that probably contributed to it. And like just having family here still makes it feel more like home. So
certainly. I will say I do go on a little hate of Buffalo in the middle of winter. It gets old to me too, but I love it here. There's about 2 to 3 months where I'm like, I could go anywhere south right now.
Yes.
But after those 2-3 months, I absolutely love it.
Yeah,
here.
We'll just have to do some more work trips, to Florida or something.
There we go. Yeah. Got to open up a little satellite shop.
Yeah, I'll prove it. So
good. Glad you got the right guy. Willing to prove without any sort of background. One question I don't think I asked you in the interview is why did you get into finance?
Yeah, so my dad grew up in finance and banking and then did mortgage industry. And so he's just a role model of mine. And really I didn't know what I wanted to do in finance. And it was just like trying to figure it out. So I graduated college and then just started at Wells Fargo as a teller and a banker. And then I got my first accounting job and it was like, oh yeah, like this, not so bad. And then took it from there to keep growing it. So it was really just my dad influencing me and something to do with business and finance. And he's always, teaching me things on business and things. So I just learned from him, and that's kind of like what piqued my interest. So,
and I know one of your strong suits is certainly forecasting. And when we hired you, I said, all right, Rich, we got a little bit of cleaning up to do, but ultimately this is where I want to go. Why don't you talk to me about forecasting a little bit? What are you looking for? Any key metrics? Anything that, I guess just dive in, whatever you want to tell me about forecasting.
Yeah. So that's where I really want to take the finance department, is that forecasting piece. I think it'll help you in the long run understand where your business is headed. So even if it's like a cash forecast or an operating expense forecast or revenue forecast, like it's all just to give you insight into how the business is looking down the road. And so I think it's important for forecasting, then you can compare your results against those and then understand why did you exceed expectations or why did you fail to meet those. And I think I think it's important for especially a small business to understand those drivers and not just be like, oh yeah, we had, good or a bad month. And so I think it's really trying to, and there's different factors to forecasting. You got macroeconomic issues, but then you got all industry specific issues. You got the weather. So there's a lot that goes into it, but it's really just giving you a clear look into the future, and then it just allows you to make other decisions that can help you in the long run.
Certainly, yeah. Like pro prospecting's going up 20% last week. That's a major factor, right?
Yeah.
But exactly. Yeah, weather definitely drives our business, and it's like, at some point I've always said I'd love to get somebody that could really forecast that weather, because that would be so vital to really projecting our revenue and call count.
Yeah, they can't forecast a day out though, so I wouldn't plan on it.
Fair enough, especially here.
Yes.
One thing that you did hit on just there that I think is very underrated, or I think most businesses will focus like, okay, why didn't we hit certain metrics? But you start off saying like, why did you exceed? And I don't think enough people really sit there and say like, okay, we beat these numbers. Let's figure out why we beat them. I think that's really important. I just don't think enough people do that.
Yeah, and it allows you to like, hey, if we beat it because of this, then well, let's duplicate that. And even if you did exceed, like, could we have exceeded it further? Like I feel like that's also a question not a lot of people ask. And so,
For sure.
yeah, I think there's always room to improve. But I think you got to take the wins when you get them. So if you do overperform, and it's like, hey, like, let's celebrate that win. We did a great job. You don't always have to just jump to, the whys, but at the end of the day, you do need to understand them.
Yeah. Celebrate your wins when you get them, for
Yes.
sure. Certainly a tough industry. We're seeing private equity really take over a lot of it. I think in this community, it's a lot easier than maybe others. I do think people go more local. Cellino's been a big name. Do you see any, obviously you're new to the industry, but do you see any projection on where this industry goes for the next 5 years?
I don't think it's going away. And I think that's part of what drew me into the industry in the first place is like, I mean, people still need plumbers and HVAC and all the above. So like,
Good electricians.
Yeah,
Be upset.
exactly. Electric, big part of us now. So yeah, so I don't know. I just think it's going to keep growing. And like with AI, I know you're big on AI. But it's just that like at the end of the day, like this kind of service industry, like it's still going to be there in 5 years. So the private equity stuff's always interesting. I don't know. Like I haven't seen it in too much detail. I know you've said there's been some, other local companies that have gone private equity. So, yeah. And I know we want to, keep growing and going without that for now. So,
yeah. I hear a lot, like people that have a private shop will fight private equity. They say they're terrible. I really don't go that far. I don't, number one, I think it really depends on the group. I think they're all kind of interact differently, but I do think that it's easier in our control to give a good service. So
yeah,
if we can compete and it looks like, it's really service, right? It's all about the guys that you have there. We don't sell any fancy product, right? We certainly have them, but anyone can get the products we have. And, I tell everybody, honestly, furnaces, yeah, there's some different parts, but really it's about the install. So I think when you have all those factors into play, it's, less important to be a big conglomerate than, maybe other industries have.
Yeah, I would agree.
So, Rich, where do you see your role at Cellino, or where do you hope to be in 5 to 10 years?
Keep growing the finance department and just providing good insight. So, cleaning up, some of the basics or the accounting side, making sure that's running smoothly, and then really diving into the forecasting and business casing and doing more of that analysis. And I'm hoping in 5-10 years just to keeping it Cellino and partnering with you and the team and just keep growing the business. I think there's a lot of room to grow, especially once we clean some things up on and make sure that we're in a good spot on our P&L and balance sheet. And then from there, I think, whether it's, buying more trucks or a different warehouse or whatever it may be in the future, like I think we'll be able to get there, and I hope to be running the finance side. So
yeah, the one thing I tell everybody, like when they come into Bullis, it's like this place has been rearranged probably 500 times. New wall built, break this one down, expand this. So I think it'll be fun, but certainly we have probably exceeded our limit at that shop now. So
yeah,
we'll be sharpen your pencil. We'll be looking to build soon.
I know the office the accounting department's in. There's no heating or anything. I'm like, yeah, we got to get all these.
Find a good HVAC company.
Yeah, I'm work for Cellino. Like you'd think I'd get some heating in here, but it's just like a brick little office. But
yeah,
and you don't even have an office. So yeah.
Yeah, nope. I got moved out of my office.
Yeah,
it's time. We'll sharpen those pencils. Well, thanks, Rich. Is there anything else that you'd want to hit on, or any other points you'd like to bring up?
No, it's been a fun experience at Cellino. I think, different than the corporate life for sure. So if anyone looking to make the jump into this side, I think it's just, understand what you're getting yourself into and just know there, got to go with the flow, pun intended. So yeah, no, it's interesting, and I think it's a rewarding experience. So thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no, thanks for coming on, and more importantly, thanks for joining the team. We're lucky to have you.
Thank you.